The island. We are here for our fifth week in a row at the desert island that you've heard so much about in the Discord, and we're adding to it every week. But I don't know if these get saved anywhere. But they're that we throw them into the ether. We listen to these songs with you guys, and then we see what happens. But I am your host, Brad LeBaron, And I mean, we're both the hosts of this. I just say I'm the host at every turn that I can. But Nate's here as well. He is also the host. And yeah, we don't have Reese here today. He is accepting a new roommate into his living situation. But we have a very special guest sitting in for Reese. This is a an old friend of me and Nate. We've done a bit of activism together, and this is Little Guillotine, our local hip hop, revolutionary hip hop legend in Madison, Wisconsin. But yeah, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
This is really nice to
yeah,
see both of you again for such a long time, and
yeah,
also to like do some like broadcast stuff. It's so yeah, I'm really excited.
yeah, yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, Little Guillotine. You have, if you've heard any of my previous podcasts, you'll know that we did a podcast together, the Little Guillotine podcast, for about like 12 episodes or something. Yeah. So again, if you want to check those out, they're still up on YouTube. If you want to hear me talk more about my politics or whatever, you don't hear it as much on side A and side B. But yeah, we got deep in it on that podcast. Yeah, we're here for a punk playlist, which is something that users have or people on Reddit and Facebook and stuff have submitted all these punk songs that are location
Oh yeah,
based.
I was gonna ask
So
where the list came from, and
yeah,
so okay.
yeah. So we basically we have this podcast, or this is like just a stream that goes out unedited. And it goes opposite our side B podcast, and yeah, every other week we search for a different location based genre playlist. So
That was another question I had because I was listening to the songs earlier today, and then there was one from Minnesota, and then there was another one from Philadelphia.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so, is it Midwest? Is that the location,
Um,
or is it
just location.
okay?
Just
Just
location.
location. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have a
I
very
got you.
yeah, we have a very tenuous connection between the stuff that we cover. We chose locations because of the Sufjan Stevens thing. He was going to make 50 states of albums, and he never completed the project. He just made 2 states of albums, so Illinois and Michigan.
All right.
So we were like, all right, we're going to find all of the existing states albums that exist, like so ZZ Top Tejas, there's Lou Reed's New York.
Kansas has a self-titled album, I
We
think.
did Kansas.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. So Bon Jovi has got New Jersey. So yeah, we've been listening to the good, the bad, and the ugly of
yeah.
that, those kinds of things. So yeah, if you're listening to The Island for the 5th week in a row, that's what the shtick is. All right, that's what brought us to doing location based genre things. So if you want to blame someone, blame Sufjan. Yeah, how have you been doing through the pandemic and everything? I know that you haven't probably done a whole lot of like live shows in a while, but you're out there pretty active on the Instagram and online and stuff. You seem like you're always doing some little guillotine stuff.
Yeah, I started out 2021 with a goal to like drop a song every 4 weeks,
Okay.
and I got really good at like marketing and things like that. And so like yeah,
Yeah.
that's like kind of like the hidden ugly kind of part of the music business is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
like it's not always, it's definitely about grinding and putting a lot of sweat equity, but then you
Yeah.
got to put money into it and
Hmm.
spend it in a cogent way and try to get folks to get exposed to your stuff in order for you to build a fan base and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what happened, what happened was I got a YouTube channel, and
Hmm.
one of my biggest videos on there, like video series, was Angela Davis's Our Prison's Obsolete.
Oh yeah.
And I got mentioned in a couple big magazines, Glitter Magazine and Teen Vogue, like specifically about that work, and pointing folks towards it just because of the last summer, the uprising and things like that. A lot of folks were
Yeah.
looking for good politics, and this was never available as an audiobook previous to me recording it. It's one of the reasons why I did, and I think it's such a pivotal work. That's why I did it.
Yeah, it's so it like that that's a really deserving book of getting that treatment. So,
Absolutely, and
yeah.
there's not a lot of books that kind of go through those particular politics in the way that Angela Davis did. It's from 2004, chapter 6. If you're going to read anything, check out chapter 6 from that book. But
Okay.
anyways, what happened was I got a copyright strike from YouTube.
Yeah.
I was doing like YouTube videos, putting out music, and then that was like really discouraging to me. They took it down, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, you might lose your channel if you get any more copyright strikes."
Mhm.
Turns I got a bunch more audiobooks up there that also can easily get copyright strikes, and so I don't know. I got discouraged heavily from that and kind of
Uh-huh.
fell off everything. That's what I'm remembering right now. Kind of why I fell out of like regularly producing music and YouTube content and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But getting back into it now, really excited to see kind of society opening back up, hanging out with like music folks again. I'm really glad
Yeah,
to have been
yeah.
invited here tonight because
Mhm.
kind of like get the productive juices sort of like flowing again. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, me and Rare MC, aka Michael Wharton, my
Okay.
friend for a long time, have a song that like we completed, and so we just got to send that to get mastered and mixed and engineered, and then we're gonna be doing that. And we did a video we're gonna be putting out soon. So yeah, that and
Nice.
like staying healthy and like really getting into nutrition like in an obsessive way.
Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, that is something I've noticed on the Instagram is you're looking real fit, man. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
just like
yeah.
trying to get jacked,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah, yeah.
I lost 85 pounds in 8 months. So that's been a real big focus.
Any secret from your routine that you think helps?
Um, so like obsessive caloric tracking,
Okay. Okay.
and like weightlifting. Those would be the two like
Yeah.
things that I would recommend more than
Mhm.
anything. But it doesn't necessarily work for everyone because
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of times it'd be better for folks' lifestyles to increase like aerobic exercise and get into a caloric deficit that way if you're looking to like lose
Yeah, yeah,
fat
yeah.
or whatever. So not necessarily the solution for everyone, but the one that worked for me is just obsessive tracking of calories, which is pretty annoying actually. A lot of you tell a lot of folks and that, and they're like, "Yeah, no thanks," because
Well, yeah,
every time I eat something, I'm on
it's a
the app.
lifestyle.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it sure is, it
Mhm.
sure is. So yeah, I
Yeah.
got to scan the beer. This beer shows up in my fitness app
Oh, so
actually.
you
So
just like scan the barcode now?
yeah, not everything is like that, right? But
That's pretty nice though. Yeah.
yeah, it is, it is.
Yeah, yeah. For the
Um,
things that are available like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then like I gotta save my trash if I was eating on the way over. I save my trash in the car so I can scan it later and things like that. And if you're cooking a
Yeah.
meal, you don't have anything to scan necessarily except for like the chicken
Yeah, you kind
package,
of
and
have
so
to, yeah, you probably have to just manually put that
you
kind
got to
of
put
thing
that
in.
stuff in.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you're
yeah.
spending a lot of time on that app.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I'm still trying to find my weight loss thing or whatever, what my body needs. I haven't been putting a lot of effort into it yet.
for
But
sure.
yeah, yeah, no, but I've yeah, you've been definitely making it's obvious, that you've been making that change, so yeah, good on you.
Thank you.
But yeah, you guys want to get into one of the tracks from this list as we continue talking about this stuff? Um,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, we
Hell
got
yeah.
so how familiar are you with punk?
So let's see.
I mean, I know we all know punk,
Yeah, for sure.
but
I would say before, like when in my teens, when I was like 16 and I was homeless down on State Street here in Madison.
okay.
Excuse me. I was into kind of punk culture and the scene in a big way
Yeah.
as far as going to the shows. Oh, there used to be the Lucier Community Center here in town. I mean, there
Okay.
still is that, but it was this teen center off of State Street. And they had a lot of shows, and a lion's share of those were like punk shows. There
Yeah.
used to be this
Yeah.
spot downtown on Park Street called the Paramount. I don't know if folks remember
The
that too.
Paramount.
Yeah, the Paramount.
No,
Those were a
I've
long ass time
never
ago.
been to heard of that, but that's a
Yeah,
great name for a place.
and it's right. It's on Park and right where like the bike path crosses Park Street. So I'm trying to think of it's Dayton, I believe. So like Park and Dayton.
I think that
And
sounds right.
yeah, there was a lot of punk shows there and like ska shows. I was heavy into ska
You
and ska
wait,
and punk.
I think was it in a like a back alley bike shop area?
No, I mean this was the whole building was the Paramount. It was a
Oh, okay.
venue.
This wasn't some weird underground thing. This was an
No,
official.
this was official,
Okay, okay, okay.
and there was some bigger names. Like I mean, like Hole, Courtney Love. I remember seeing there.
Ooh,
I can't remember seeing a lot of big punk names. Well, that's the whole thing. Is like there's not a lot of whole big punk names because it's like primarily like an underground thing, at least, especially if you're like part of some the punk scene or whatever. There's yeah, that's why it's such a cool little thing. But yeah, that was
yeah,
like my jam for a year or two there. 16 and 17 years old was
yeah, yeah,
was yeah, rocking out the punk and ska.
yeah. It's always been very. It seems like it's always been pretty thriving in this area. Like I
Yeah.
think that I got here in 2011, I think, and it was there was punk everywhere. I had no idea. And yeah, Nate, when did you move up to Madison?
In 2008.
2008. So were
Yeah,
you
I remember
were you
seeing.
also new to the punk scene when you got to town? Like, was it
Well, it was.
something you were aware of?
I knew somebody in a local punk band. I think it was like a pop punk though, a little bit. There was a
Well,
band called
yeah.
Kickback for a while. Or the Kickback. I think they might have gone by. I can't remember if it
Was
was
it
there. If there was
like
a the.
Blink 182 or like early Green Day?
I think it was in that vein. It was in the vein of Blink 182, I'd say.
Okay, okay, okay.
Or even like Rancid
Yeah, yeah.
to a degree. Anyway,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
but I do remember seeing some punk-ish or like post-hardcore. There was a band called No Age
Oh
that I
yeah.
saw at Union South when there was the old Unions. Oh wow, it's raining a lot. I just like look out the window and suddenly there's a storm where
Not
I
here,
am.
right?
But
Oh yeah, not here yet. Yeah, it must be on its way.
okay, must be on its way. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah. Or it's just
yeah, I
gonna
thought I
miss
heard
us. Who
raining
knows?
and I was like, what the heck? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's kind of like the only punk that and that was when I was coming to Madison for school back then, so
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I didn't get into the scene right away, but then it was around after I dropped out, it was around like 2012 when I started listening to like the local like thrashy kind of punk band. I can't remember their name, but Pyroclast, that was the one.
Pyroclast. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pyroclast is
Yeah.
good. They ended up actually getting some
But
traction,
anyway,
right? Like they went on some big tours, right?
yeah, they went on some big tours.
Yeah.
Should we get started with the first song?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first song we got for you tonight is by the Dead Milkmen, and the song is Tiny Town. So yeah, just to
Tiny
mention this
Town.
list. So this list is like newer or lesser known punk acts, but the Dead Milkmen is pretty fairly well known. But if you're not
Yeah.
into punk, like you might not know it all. So here is the Dead Milkmen's Tiny Town.
All right. Taking a second to start here, as it often does.
Always does. There it goes.
There it goes.
Oh man.
I like this.
I'm gonna learn this, or I'm gonna turn this up a little bit.
I feel like this playlist is gonna be a little breezy.
Yeah, I don't know the track length.
Some of these are shorter songs.
Yeah.
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 I went through like half of them in 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We have one compilation we have to get to at some point that's 36 punk tracks.
Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna
what's
do
up.
like 2 at a time.
Hell yeah. I definitely remember the Dead Milkmen. That was one of the bands I was listening to a while ago.
I'll help with the lyrics now.
Oh, the lyrics. It's great to see them. I didn't understand all of them earlier, and so now I'm seeing. Yeah, it's some powerful stuff here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a terrible.
Oh, so this is like talking shit about like rural places.
That's right. Rural
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
It is. It's got a little. It's got some things that I might say I agree with, and some things that I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like
Oh, that's it.
the one thing
That
that
was
I
it.
am reminded of is it's like it's a critique of small town United States, and then just like how um it doesn't go down the same with political sort of like left and right leaning characters in like other countries. So like there's
Yeah.
European cities that are small that are actually extremely radical, like these like
Ah,
that
yeah.
city Andalusia or something like that. I think it's called Andalusia
Yeah.
in like northern Spain. That's like a completely anarchist town, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Which are things you don't really encounter in the United States as much.
Yeah.
But fairly accurate, and I'm pretty biased against like I kind of hate being in tiny towns myself. I'm a white male, hetero cis, so like nothing to necessarily worry about. But I just don't. Yeah, like I guess I kind of agree
They're
with
not
what they're
my
saying.
preferred place. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been to many, many tiny towns, and I love a lot of country people. Like I definitely, I at least have enough, enough. I know enough country people in my life, or whatever, that I have positive interactions with, that they help me believe that it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah.
But it is, yeah, by and large, though, very, as if the last, I don't know how many years has shown us anything, it's still, a lot of the stuff they're singing about still pretty entrenched
Yeah.
in our tiny towns. So
And then one exception I can think of, just like local to here, and not a complete exception, is like Spring Green, which is sort of like a satellite city outside of Madison where a lot of artists go. And so I definitely know some like hardcore lefties that live in that area and stuff like that.
and that's a tiny town.
It's
in
a
a
tiny
sense.
town like Spring Green Arena. That's where like
Yeah.
House on the Rock is.
Oh, that's where
And
House on the Rock
it's kind of
is.
like an area where folks from Madison go and like do art
Yeah,
a lot,
yeah,
but
yeah,
not
yeah.
everybody. There's also a lot of BS that happens there. I'm
Yeah.
interested in what Nathan, like kind of what you were saying, that you were disagreeing on the song.
Oh, the only thing that I thought was a little bit like ableist was when he was like, "Oh yeah," basically like implying that they're incestual there, and so
Oh yeah.
his daughter is a mongoloid because I married my sister, and I was like, "Oh, that's a
Oh.
little bit."
That's right.
Yeah,
I was,
Yep, for sure.
the weird thing is I was thinking of the H.P.
But-
Lovecraft version of that word, which is
The sentiment,
it's
I
talking,
understand.
It's talking about, race, which is not any better.
Not any better. It used to be
Yeah,
like the
right.
synonym for the R word back in like the 40s in the medical industry. They used
Yeah,
to use
yeah,
that
yeah,
word for
definitely,
like
it
somebody
was-
who they deemed
yeah.
to be slow-minded, if you will, like the
Yeah.
RETARD
Mhm.
word.
Well, yeah, it was already out of fashion by the time I was a kid, because like I learned about that in like my mid-teens, and me and my friends chuckled about it.
Yeah.
I feel like
Um,
the R word is coming back again, sadly, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
I've heard people saying it a lot on the internet, and I'm just like, "What is happening? My brain is
Yeah.
exploding." I thought we got rid of it.
Yeah,
I guess no. I guess everything just goes in cycles. I don't know.
Yeah, it must. It must.
Yeah.
And so I was saying, like, I remember the Dead Milkmen from the mid 90s, which is when I
Yeah.
was like 16.
Uh-huh.
And so this might be kind of an old song too. I wonder what year, does it say what year this song's from?
This one is 1985.
Oh yeah.
So,
Okay, so then maybe even
yeah,
wasn't that
yeah.
much more, language changes.
Well, I mean,
but
and
yeah, after that
they're
kind
also trying to be, shocking as well, like
Sure.
as part of the songwriting. They're choosing these harsh words because they're harsh. They're making that choice or whatever.
word.
Because like it's because I mean, because if you were to take it like biographically or whatever from their own perspective, it's just horrible. It's just bad. But yeah, they're taking a very, obviously extreme view on the, towns based on their, seeing all this extreme stuff,
Yeah.
happening.
Stop me if I'm going too long on one song and we got to move on, but I really like the rhythmic syncopation in this song. And
Yeah,
it's like, I
yeah.
don't know, it's really like a head bobbing type of, like, I don't know, like hip hop ish type, same
Hmm.
kind of style, rhythmic styles that are used in like hip hop
Yeah.
and yeah, so I enjoyed the rhythmic syncopation.
Yeah. No, I always say, like, for punk music, like, you should, you know, if even if you don't like it, you should see it live. You should experience it,
Okay,
because
yeah,
it's just a just what am I looking for? It's like an adrenaline rush. You know what I mean?
for sure.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of words to describe punk music, but
Yeah.
it's like one of the few genres that I don't spend a lot of time talking about.
Is this the first punk show that you've done?
This is our third episode
Third,
about
okay.
punk, but
All
usually
right.
Reese is he's like our kind of punk thesaurus, if
Nice.
you will. So he's got all the
Yeah.
subgenres and like how they cross over and stuff.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, we're a little less knowledgeable than Reese is on the subject, probably, if you've listened to our previous episodes about punk. But we're gonna learn together. This next track is by Big Black, and it is about Jordan, Minnesota. So here's Big Black. Yeah, I like this production. So like industrial.
Oh yeah. Got the double
Whoa.
bass drums, the double bass drum, kick. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
This is a fucked up song.
What?
Oh, okay. There was a sexual abuse scandal in Jordan, Minnesota. In 1985, several adults in Scott County,
Oh
were
no.
accused of sexually abusing children, although only one, James Rudd, was convicted. The case was the subject of the song titled Jordan, Minnesota by Chicago-based noise rock band Big Black, which appears in the 1986 album Atomizer.
Wow.
Oh word.
Yeah,
That's fucked.
yeah, read the lyrics.
Yeah. Like, this is like this is brutal sounding for a very brutal reason, you know?
Yeah. So, Steve Albini was in Big Black,
Okay.
and yeah,
Damn.
he's a famous producer.
Yeah. Now I'm just reading this note.
Oh, from the liner notes.
Yeah. From the suck daddy part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Apparently it would get really intense when they did it live.
Yeah, this is.
I don't know
this
if
is
I'm.
not.
This is this is some real shock punk.
I definitely commend them on their ability to channel like emotion through the lyrics, fucking, because like I don't know,
Yeah.
I talk when I write lyrics. I like to talk about political stuff, and I find it very
Yeah.
hard to talk about emotions,
Mhm.
just because that's the kind of like persona I guess I have. And
Mhm.
yeah, they fucking, I mean, they're channeling like the abuser here, and these
Yeah. Yeah.
and like making a statement about it, and it's
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
powerful. When I listened to this earlier, it was in front of my kids, and
Oh.
luckily you can't understand anything that it says, because but yeah,
Damn.
reading these lyrics along with it is definitely wow. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Did you hear any of the lyrics when you were listening earlier? Or just like
maybe die.
okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about like punk a lot like hip hop, like you lyrics are very helpful because there's a lot being said in a short amount of time. And it's usually some poignant, stuff they're trying to discuss.
Absolutely.
So yeah, this one, like at the end, if you were listening, or if you weren't listening while we were listening to this song, this song is about uh uh let's see, a, a child sex abuse ring in the town of Jordan, Minnesota. And their song about that. And yeah, there's a lot of really intense stuff. There's like part at the end that is kind of him acting out like the horrible scenario, and he apparently would perform it on stage. Like he tried to do like like an act and draw it out as long as he could at the end of the song, which made people very uncomfortable. But yeah, yeah, very much a another shock kind of song. I mean that's, I guess, one thing that punk is excels at, I guess. But yeah, this one wasn't expecting it for Jordan, Minnesota.
Do you think that it was it's kind of like edge lording, like coming from edge lord? They want to be edge lords and be edgy, or do you think they're trying to make a statement about this stuff? And it's interesting that
Yeah.
this is another small town song too,
Mhm.
just like the last one.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. Are they? Did I forget? Did that article say if they're from the area?
Chicago, right? They're from Chicago.
Big Black.
I
It
thought I
said they were
remember
from
you said so.
Chicago. They were Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
So
Chicago
they like
based
heard about this
band.
and they like heard this news and they like wrote a song about about it because
They
it
were
was
like,
so
"That's
fucked up or
brutal."
whatever. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this could be definitely seen as some edge lording, I think.
Okay.
But just before,
Mm.
I guess that was a term for it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think there's definitely a lot of
Yeah.
that in this and different metal music. You'll find it. People that are just taking themselves a little too seriously. Maybe,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's definitely real shock value stuff. Especially with the the reading that they do the action and just make it even worse live. So yeah, I can only imagine. You know, it would be something you'd want a trigger warning for, at least.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like performance art does have a place, but like it depends on why you're doing it, what your goals are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking maybe it's along the same vein where you're calling out conservatism or something, or like the shittiness of small.
Mhm.
But I think it's. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It seems like more just edge lording in this case,
Yeah,
based on the
yeah,
lyrics
yeah.
I'm reading here.
Yeah, and I think that I think we'll probably find more of that. This is pre-internet, so this was just happening out in the streets.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got another track for you guys. This one
Good music though.
Yeah, it was a really musically that was a great track.
Yeah.
I can't
Mhm.
can't shit on that.
The double bass drum.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
it sounded.
fucking-
I love the production.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this next track is by the Vibrators and it's called Disco in Moscow, right?
I mean, it says Moscow,
It says
Yeah.
Moscow
right?
in the
Yeah,
YouTube, but
And on Spotify, it said
I'm
Moscow.
not sure
but here-
why, but
It's obviously
Interesting.
Moscow, right?
wait. Here
wait,
it is.
actually, in the picture it says Moscow.
Yeah, so maybe there's something to that, right? Like they're saying.
I wonder if
don't
that's
know.
like.
Yeah, is Moscow another small town maybe or something?
Yeah, I looked at the weather a second ago, and it was like one little red spot over in my neighborhood. Just fuck this particular area. And it downpoured for like 15 minutes.
Haha. Are we? So can folks hear us when the songs are playing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. I have the music turned down a little bit just because otherwise it could interfere, and I don't want it to be the most prominent thing in the mix.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does. They are definitely saying Moscow.
Moscow, not Moscow.
Mm.
Yeah, like I said, on Spotify it said Moscow. And yeah, on the cover, the album cover art. I mean, this is like a really pop rock type of sound to it, right? Would you call this pop punk or maybe not? Like not a modern pop rock.
I feel like it had a different term.
Okay.
This is like proto punk almost.
All right, yeah, that sounds.
Yeah, because it like started out a little poppier and then got punkier and then got really poppy.
And this right here.
I think this might be. Let's see. I'm guessing 70s.
Well,
what year is this?
It says 1981 to 2011.
Okay.
Let me look up the vibrators. Let me look up vibrators and see what happens.
see what you get.
Yeah. And then just click send to house.
Yeah, I said.
Yeah. Okay, so it says that. Okay, let's see here. I still have to look for it, but because a lot of their albums apparently don't have any.
In Russia, vibrators fuck you. No, wait, you fuck vibrators. Sorry.
Yeah, you fuck vibrator. Yeah.
You found something that says Moscow. What's that?
Mediterranean Offshore Services Company.
Oh, that's probably not. That's probably not.
That's it. It's a WordPress. What if they just did it because it rhymed with disco?
Yeah, it could be.
You know, like it like more perfectly rhymes.
I should have looked at the lyrics better to kind
of. Oh yeah, we were really
paying attention.
Yeah, we were really stuck on the disco in Moscow thing.
It's.
I think it's just mostly about dancing, right?
Yeah.
And well, it's like an anti. Maybe it's like an anti-missile thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it starts out where he's talking about from L.A. to
San Francisco,
from London to San Francisco, and then I wonder if you're dancing in Moscow. So I think it's just mostly
October 1980 was when it came out.
Definitely some Cold
War.
The
single.
Yeah, Cold War shit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, disco in Moscow.
And so maybe just like some positive sentiments around, oh yeah, the world's gonna end, but hey, like hopefully folks there are having fun. I guess there's
well, like it's just I like that it's just like kind of an observation, like oh man, like they're just dancing around. They're like, oh man, you think they're like dancing in Moscow? I think they're doing this there, you know?
Right.
And 1980, probably not so much in Moscow.
The lyrics didn't seem like anti-Russian.
No, it just mostly seemed like it didn't seem like a very serious song.
Right.
Yeah. Seemed like it was just like, just loosely about Cold War, and
it's kind of ironic at the time.
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, it's a nice. Yeah, it sounds a little probably in the right time. I guess 80s in the right time. Like that's when proto punk was still happening. Proto punk. Yeah.
That reminds me of the prototype. Anybody?
The prototype.
Nobody had. Okay, yeah, it was like this. Too old. I dated myself, just like I did literally earlier. But yeah, it was like this pipe that had like a cleaner, and it came apart, and it was made out of machined like brass.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
yeah. It was. Anyways, it was
nice.
It was pretty popular. Anyways.
Nice. and they had it in multiple places. It wasn't just like one shop.
Yeah, it was all over the place. It was like
Ah,
all over the country.
Oh man, I didn't experience the prototype.
It was before like glass pipes were like the norm. You know what I mean? There was not like mass produced glass at the time.
Ooh.
I don't even know.
It was
I don't
like
even
those-
remember. I don't have any memory of that time.
yeah.
Was there a
yeah.
time?
Yeah, like we have bongs.
Yeah, right.
like what? How did they do that before? Like,
Yeah.
was there bongs?
I mean, yeah, there was bongs, but it was all like plastic mostly, and with like metal that they had all these pipe pieces that were interchangeable, like plumbing pieces almost.
Yeah,
and you could like screw them together and make different shapes, and there'd be different angles and stuff like that. But it was all like stainless steel.
Yeah,
and then of course the prototype. Was different.
Oh man, that's wild. I never even thought about that. But yeah, now we have all sorts of scientific glass and pipes and everything. It's a whole new world.
Go capitalism. Just kidding.
No. But I guess we want to move on to the next track. We have the fourth one we're covering tonight. This is I've never heard of this band. It's Johnny Thunders, and the song is called Chinese Rocks.
What? I mean, it's got to be drugs, because
yeah, there was a discussion.
If everything's in the pawn shop, that means they pawned off all their instruments to get drugs.
And he's living
which
on
is
it
a typical
too.
Yeah. Inspired by Lou Reed's heroin, the song openly details the day-to-day ravages of opiate addiction. I suppose, yeah. It's...
Wait, Lou Reed has a song named Heroin that's inspired by? Or like... Lou Reed's heroin inspired this song. Dee Dee Ramone was in this band, apparently. So Dee Dee is...
Oh, okay.
Does that mean, like, they took the heroin that Lou Reed took, and that inspired this?
I was like, did Lou Reed have a brand of heroin that he marketed?
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Lou Reed's in quotations heroin song. Yeah, it's an Velvet Underground song.
Okay.
That's what I figured. So is this not crack cocaine? Is this a euphemism for a different kind of drug?
This is heroin.
It's heroin called Chinese rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like pure stuff.
Yeah.
So wait, Is this a Ramon song then?
Dee Dee from the Ramones was in this band.
Yeah.
Yeah, it totally has that feel.
Before, yeah,
right?
this is before it.
So wait.
Before the Ramones?
Who's
Yeah.
Johnny Thunder?
Okay.
Is Johnny Thunders in the Ramones?
Johnny Thunders.
Yeah, for some reason I found this song under Johnny Thunders
Oh.
on YouTube, so that's what it is on the list. But
He might
that
own
was-
it at this point because if he
maybe
was in the
that's-
band, yeah,
okay.
he
Maybe
because
that's
Dee
the
Dee
deal.
Ramone has been dead since 2002. He passed away in 2002, which I want to think in my
It's
head is
weird.
like, oh, 2002 is 10 years ago, but that's like almost 20 years ago now, and I'm just like, what?
Oh,
All
my
right.
goodness, so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird though. I feel like it shouldn't. I feel like it should say Ramones though. You know, like I feel like it's not genuine for like listeners for it to be called filed under Johnny Thunders. That's all I'm saying, YouTube. But yeah, we're pretty sure that this song's about heroin, specifically Lou Reed's heroin, the song heroin.
What year is this from? I'm trying to like put it in context to like why we're talking about Chinese stuff. Is this have to do with like sort of like anti-red?
This one was very loosely a location-based thing because we asked like for suggestions and this was in the pool of suggestions.
All right. 2017 looks like.
It's less.
No.
It's like if you want to get down to it, it's less about the location than it's slang for, I think, pure heroin maybe at the time.
Okay, yeah.
Because I definitely heard, I feel like I've heard let's see, fish scale, that's a term I've heard. There's like a handful of terms that just represent purity of
black tar. Yeah, I can't think of them anymore. I've definitely had more than my fair share of friends die from heroin overdoses, including a few months ago. It's somewhere in like the dozen people now that I've known. I definitely luckily I like never got into it personally, but it was all around me all the time, especially when I was on the streets and stuff like that.
It's deadly.
But I do, if you look at the lyrics and listening to the lyrics, I like kind of like how they're painting this picture. It reminds me of like Train Spotting or something. Like they're like painting this image of like this residence where folks are like doing heroin, not taking care of themselves. The fucking
they're
plasters falling down.
It's cool. Not being glorified. Whereas there's plenty of rock songs that glorify heroin.
True that.
Like it could
in like
be...
1.5 minutes of searching, I found the sequel song. Dee Dee Ramone had a solo album in 1994 called It was actually called I Hate Freaks Like You. And he had a song called Chinese Bitch. I apologize for that word, those words, but some of the
quite the title.
And
wow,
there's some pretty bad stuff in here, but it says I'm so sick of it, Chinese bitch. I'm so sick of the tricks, that Chinese bitch. I told her to give it up and I can go and cop. I'd come back later with some Chinese rock. When I got back there, no one was around. She must have went back to Chinatown. It's like he's
literally
had a
talking
problem
about a lady that he dated as well as heroin.
Yeah, so his like heroin
probably
use like that's some personal experiences of his, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a cool thing to talk about in lyrics, I guess, for sure.
Yeah, powerful. Man, that's that second one though. I don't know about that second one.
Yeah, that title. Okay, so I'm getting
it's terrible.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm getting a better idea about the location thing now too, because it's like locations that are in the lyrics that they're talking about. Okay, cool.
Yes,
it totally makes sense now.
So yeah. So we're pretty loose about it though.
Right.
Like based on these suggestions we get, we're like, should we count this one or not?
So you did edit it, you didn't just
we had more suggestions than the two lists. Like there was still like maybe 10 or more on the cutting room floor, but I think a lot of them were pop punk.
Okay.
We ended up being like, that's more pop punk.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot. So what is the Reddit in the Discord, by the way? What's it called?
Oh, so the Reddit. Oh, I don't think I've ever actually mentioned what the actual Reddit is that I use on any of the podcasts, but it's still under Revolver Audio.
Okay.
So REVOLOVER Audio if you want to interact with me on Reddit. But otherwise, yeah, it's mostly just the account that I use to post random stuff on random subreddits. And yeah, we got a lot of responses on the punks subreddit.
Nice.
And yeah, yeah. If I hope some of you are in the chat or in the stream. But if you aren't, just in general, thank you for your suggestions. But yeah, yeah. So we went on Reddit and on Facebook and on our Discord, which you can find, I think, in the description. I'm not sure how these descriptions look necessarily, but yeah, yeah. We have a Discord. We got the I send it on Facebook, Twitter. You know, we got all the classics. And we might get on TikTok at some point.
Hey.
Haven't done it yet, but I think I have a few ideas that the kids might like on TikTok. I don't know. You've been doing it for a while though, right? TikTok?
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
stopped and after when 2021 started and just
Yeah.
focused on YouTube as my primary social media
uh-huh.
kind of outlet, and now I'm more into Instagram. But yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you can't. It's hard. You got all those social media outlets, and then you got to put content in all of them. That takes up freaking all your time.
And they're all different formats,
Yeah.
different ratios.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
But
can't just take your YouTube video and throw it on TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah, it's got to be a vertical fucking. That's the thing I hate the most. I think about the TikTok is the vertical ratio that I just, you know, I don't. It's not the best.
No doubt, 16:9 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess I'm just a millennial now. Like I prefer widescreen. But yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try it out though. You know, throw together a few dumb music video.
You might find, like the organic shit
knows?
is traffic is really good on there. So yeah, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah. We'll have a TikTok soon enough, guys, for Flyover State Park. But yeah, he's gonna want to get into the next track we have.
Heck yeah.
We got this is by the group Rambo, and that's all spelled out in letters Rambo. And the song is The Curse of Philadelphia.
The Curse of Philadelphia.
Ha
Couldn't find any official Genius lyrics, I don't think.
Nope, me neither.
It looks like the official lyrics say that they're the kids who stuck it out. The kids who didn't flee.
Don't die.
Oh shit.
That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's hot.
That is.
That like had me moving, man. I would really like to see that live and just fucking just like headbang and
yeah.
I hate to
lose yourself.
But like, what if we read the lyrics and it's another one like that Jordan song where
know.
it's like, you know, where it's like, oh shit, I feel guilty for like, you know, moving my head.
Well, like, you know, that's the thing. Like, so there's like always like, you know, two reasons to listen to music. I feel, you know,
Right.
there's the you know, the stuff that gets you moving and you love it because it gets you moving and that just gets you on a deep level. And then there's the stuff that is like where the lyrics are the more important aspect of it. And sometimes those don't cross, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like sometimes something really gets you moving and you're like, oh, this is by a really abhorrent human being and all of these lyrics are awful. And then you know you feel kind of guilty about it, but it's like, you know, I think if you separate the two and you're like, oh well, I just like the way it sounded, it's fine.
Yeah,
But
for
yeah, that one definitely sounded fucking badass.
Fire.
Like New York hardcore, I
Okay.
think this is, because it's
Sounds
starting
right.
to kind of sound like a bit of the emo stuff in the late 2000s, which like kind of was a throwback to a little bit of that stuff. Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like, Between the Buried and Me, just, a hair, that hardcore thing. Um, yeah, not a lot of lyrics here though. Just
You did find the lyrics though?
yeah, there are some lyrics here.
Okay. Yeah,
If
the kids who
you
stuck it out, so they're talking about Philadelphia versus
Yeah,
New York. Is
maybe that's it. Maybe, I mean, well, I mean, I don't know if New York hardcore is about New York stuff. It's just the location, but
sure a
um,
style of music originating from.
yeah, all you can see is where you go. It's the curse of this town. Will L and I and its puppeteers have their way? What's L and I?
Is it
I
a?
wonder if
It's
that's a
political.
specific like L and I Philadelphia. We're very curious on this version of the podcast. We do a lot of googling.
Oh, okay.
Um, uh, Department of License and Inspections.
I feel like he was talking about either somebody in his social group or like a political person. Like
maybe.
yeah, like who was that? The mayor of Philadelphia that was like an ex cop, real big asshole. I can't think of it, but anyway, something
Oh,
like that was what I was thinking.
no, I know. Yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about too. I can't remember their name,
Yeah,
but
and he's got a statue of his punk
his
ass up
bitch
there,
ass,
and he's like a
bitch
horrible
punk ass.
person. Well, L and I and its puppeteers
Yeah,
have that right, but I don't know. It is L and I and its puppeteers, so he's referring
it
to
could
it
be. I
as
don't know.
its.
Maybe they had a big
License and inspection and its puppeteers.
well, maybe like there was like a big scandal with that or something that we're not aware of, some local thing where they were,
Sure.
because like IDs are a big deal, when it comes to like voting. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe there was like some, racist like ID laws or something.
Yeah.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here.
Yeah, good point.
They're being really specific. So like, you have to kind of, I don't know if it's, more of the album gives you some context, but yeah, they don't like being in Philadelphia. They it's apparently a rough place. But I mean, I thought it was always sunny.
Huh.
Not a great joke. I'll try better next time. This next track we got for you guys is by the band
Oh, I get it.
A-Town Sluts.
Yeah.
Is it Atlanta?
I don't know.
No,
I'm not sure.
Allen-
I forget what.
I think it's Allentown. I looked it up.
Okay,
Allentown,
okay.
Pennsylvania.
So A-Town, Crack
Pennsylvania.
City
Yeah.
is
I used
the
to
name.
live there.
Oh, and the album is Corruption of Minors.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm into that in
Hell yeah.
certain ways.
Yeah.
They have a band camp.
Oh yeah, this one. I think I remember this one when we were choosing.
Yeah. Their members apparently are Juan Cena on guitar and vocals, King Allentown on drums and vocals, Tommy Hilfiger on bass, and King Sportsman's on vocals.
Wow. There's like almost some like Dead Kennedys.
Reminds me of some 50s rock and roll, which is,
Yeah.
like what Dead Kennedy sounded
Yeah.
like too.
Yeah. I wonder when this came out.
This album came out in 2013. It's from the album, Corruption of Minors. Yeah, it's on their Bandcamp. atownsluts.bandcamp.com.
Oh. Okay, here we go.
He said, "Everybody gonna hit that rock. Everybody gonna snort that heroin." It doesn't even rhyme. There's a lot of heroin in today's episode.
Yeah.
Where's
Just
the lyrics
crack.
though?
And crack. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, where are you seeing the lyrics?
I didn't see the lyrics. I just could tell what he was saying for that
Oh.
second, but I couldn't
Okay,
find
okay.
lyrics. Yeah.
Well, then thank you for translating for me.
Yeah. It's basically just. It's obviously making fun of Detroit Rock City by Kiss.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I heard it. It's a kind of a really fun song.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I think part of it is how they're not staying in tune very seriously when
Yeah.
he sings.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah. No. I mean, this is like
Yeah.
like Misfits
That's very
level, like
punk.
kind of belting it out, just like, just yelling it,
Yeah.
And this is 2013, you said? Nate?
Yeah, that one came out. So I went to their Bandcamp.
Okay.
It's atownsluts.bandcamp.com, and under Corruption of Minors. Yeah, it says it was.
2013.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
We didn't find lyrics specifically, but I think you can figure it
no,
out
yeah.
pretty easily.
Yeah. Fortunately, you could hear them singing in the chorus.
Yeah.
Get up, get down, get up. We gotta smoke
Get
some
up.
crack.
Everybody
Get
gotta smoke some
down.
crack.
Gonna get down like heroin brown.
Heroin, bro. So the one thing I appreciate is just something that made me think about was like the differentiation between crack and heroin. And like I said earlier, I've known at least like 12 people that have died from heroin. I've known nobody who's died from crack ever. Because it's just
Yeah.
they're just not on the same fucking level. Like I think that was part of like the propaganda campaign
Yeah.
against like black people basically during the in the 90s was that
Yeah.
crack is this horrible drug.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, I thought of that, so I wanted to I wanted to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something that you're gonna go out and OD.
Yeah,
On a
exactly.
lot.
Exactly.
It's more the what was I gonna say? It's a different animal entirely. As
Yeah.
far like it's not like the crack epidemic is not the same as the opioid epidemic. There's there are differences in what's happening. Especially as we know in retrospect with the crack stuff, there was the involvement with the CIA and all that.
Yeah.
So
Racist campaigns.
yeah.
I've done crack before on accident, or not on accident. Somebody put it in my weed once when we were
Okay.
like out at the club without telling me,
Ooh.
like a fucking
Yeah,
asshole.
that's not cool.
It was not cool at all. I
Yeah,
was not
yeah.
trying to do crack that night.
Listeners, that's not cool.
That's not cool.
Don't do that.
I danced my ass off though.
Yeah, I bet.
But I don't talk to that guy anymore because
Yeah.
that was bullshit.
That's not something you do to a friend.
No,
Not just something you do to anyone.
right.
But yeah. It's I've like I've been in in front of it before. I've known people that have done it before and stuff. But yeah, it's a completely different animal. But yeah, this one is talking about a little of both though in this track. They kind of are, because like they're talking about they're using it very loosely in a kind of I think 2013 is appropriate because it's almost a trolley kind of internet-y way where it's like get up, we're gonna do some crack, get down like heroin brown. They're like using crack and heroin to just describe, getting up and getting down and partying. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're really even this like talking about it in the sense like let's do some crack. It's like they're like
Okay.
using
Yeah.
it as, I feel like they're almost using it as a metaphor for getting up
Right. I got you.
just because of the time period it came out. Like if this came out like in like maybe the 80s or 90s or something, I'd probably have a different like take on it. But
Okay. Yeah.
I think they're probably like, kids, millennials that are doing it ironically or some shit, you know.
That makes sense.
But yeah. Like a town crack city. That's just such a great
I
title.
lived there when I was like 8 years old for 3 weeks with my grandma. So I don't,
Allentown?
yeah, Allentown.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't really remember anything about it much.
Huh.
But
Okay. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about Allentown, Pennsylvania. But is it actually known for a crack epidemic?
maybe.
Or
Good question.
yeah, I don't know.
Where's our Googlers?
Yeah, I don't know. A town crack. I'll put a town crack epidemic.
That's why you need the
Town-
team.
I'm
right,
trying
of
to get
folks
more-
with the research. Yeah, go ahead, Nathan.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, we kind of do it on the fly, and I'm just like trying to find more information about them. All I know is they haven't been making stuff since 2016. But it seems like a lot of their stuff is themed around drug parody. But
okay. So this is kind of a shtick of theirs. I mean, I suppose they are called A-Town sluts, so they're not, they're not asking you to take them too seriously. Yeah, good track though, fun track. It really, represents the style that they're going for. Like they're definitely like they're like covering a previous genre. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah.
it doesn't really fit in 2013 necessarily, but
True that.
yeah, it definitely feels genuine to the genre. But yeah, you guys want to take one more or listen to one more track and then take a quick break?
Sounds good.
This next track is by Crumb Bums, and the song is La Plaga, and it's from the album As the Tide Turns.
The Plague.
Okay.
Somos la plaga. Somos la plaga. Vamos a chingar.
Fuck yeah.
Yo, I'm like a fucking fan now. I'm a Crumb Bum. I'm
Dude,
I'm checking
yeah.
out Crumb Bum like a
Dude,
motherfucker.
Crumb
Yeah,
Bums,
right.
man. Hell yeah.
Man,
That
that had
was
me.
that was dope.
That was really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
God
It
damn.
was pretty dope.
And that was I feel like that's like right like on the brink of pop punk, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's some like the drum stuff is very, very pop punk, like
Hell
you
yeah.
know?
Just that Somos la Plaga, like the
Yeah.
way it's like simple ass lyrics and they repeat it
Yeah.
a bunch. That's like a pop type fucking thing. You know? It just
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the first one that like had me wanting to sing it over and over again.
Uh-huh.
Partially because it was so easy to say and they said
Yeah.
it so many times. And
Yeah.
so
And I like that it's English and in Spanish, you know, it's
For
a
sure.
multilingual because yeah, punk is one of those things like there is a lot of it in, Central and South America as well, you
Hell
know. There's
yeah.
a lot of Spanish speaking punk bands out there. So yeah, we wanted to represent that in the list.
And that fucking
But
guitar riff.
that was yeah, dude. Yeah. That's the thing you don't get in a lot of punk stuff. Like
Yeah.
regular punk stuff, you don't get as much of the soloing, you know,
Yeah.
because it's not about that or whatever. But love a good solo, especially in a really fast fucking like song like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a good fucking track.
So they're saying that we're the plague and we're gonna
Yeah.
infect people. We're the plague.
Yeah.
Gritar is like fight or punch or something. Or are folks y'all know Spanish?
I don't know enough.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of gritar.
Yeah, I don't really.
Yeah.
And then go down to the vamos a chingar, like chingar is to fuck or
Okay.
whatever. I don't know if they're talking about like having sex or we're just gonna fuck shit up.
Maybe it's
hopefully
fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I think that would feel
That would
like
make
go
more
with the
sense.
rest of the song. And then esto no se puede.
So puede.
So puede.
Puede means to be able to, like we
Yeah.
can.
Because I mean I know su se puede from
Right.
protests.
That's right.
Yes, we
Olvidar.
can.
I know that se me olvidé means I think I lost it.
Mhm.
And so olvidar means to lose or something.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. So apologies for the bad Spanish. This is the world's 4th largest Spanish-speaking country, the United States.
Yep.
So like I think folks should learn Spanish if they can.
Yeah,
No hate
yeah,
on
yeah.
folks who don't know it or anything.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
obviously-
I that was how everyone started a quarantine project that
No,
they
for sure.
abandoned. That was mine. I was learning Spanish. I was doing really well, and then like I don't know, it was something about the app like getting on my case about it that made me not want to do it anymore. Like I
Was it-
felt like it became like more of a chore because the dude that was like kept on pestering me like, come on man, you gotta do your Spanish today, you gotta do your Spanish today. I was like, man, I don't want to do it today. but yeah, no, I need to jump back into it. I mean, I was learning quite a bit in a short amount of time, so yeah,
was
I
it
need to
Babel or
no, it was Duolingo. Yeah,
so
yeah,
it was
yeah.
the owl. It was like an owl, right? That
Yes,
is a
yes,
yeah,
yes. I
same
enjoyed it.
with French.
I definitely would return to it and will return to that, like for trying to learn it because it was starting to pick up a few things. But yeah, everyone definitely should know Spanish in the U.S. It should be taught to preschool through 12th grade. You know what I mean? It should just be you learn English and Spanish. That's just the way it is because that would just make sense. But
pelear is to fight as well.
Okay.
And so I guess they're calling themselves the plague because they're fighting back against oppression and shit. Like that's kind of like the idea.
So.
Yeah. We're gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
We're like organized.
The wall can't hide the truth.
They're probably like, oh really? Okay, so yep.
Yeah, starving eyes mean nothing. When starving eyes mean nothing, and a wall can hide the truth.
Sure.
I no more want to live. I only feel ashamed. The ashes of our fires have blackened in our own hearts. and compassion is a feeling lost in the wind. Fuck.
So, some like appeals
Yeah.
to some deep emotional like things,
Yeah.
and some like call to fight, like a
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
motherfucker there. Yeah.
And kind of some like anti prison kind of message a
Yeah.
little bit too.
Yeah.
What's that called again? Prison abolition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it could be
Mhm.
some prison abolition themes here as well. And I don't know, this is okay, 2007.
Okay.
So yeah. Well, I was about to to date it for where what problems we are inflicting upon immigration stuff in what year, you know what I mean? It just to see
Right.
the context, but
Yeah.
it's something we've been doing for a long time. Still, especially post 9/11, really ramping up the what is that?
This is one of their album covers. It's a peace sign with like a what is that? A stiletto, like a big ass dagger, and then it says
Yeah.
gasoline.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope.
It's really cool.
That's dope.
So they're they're all about that, not necessarily nonviolent resistance, and for peace too. But just maybe through violence.
Yeah. And I mean, for the uninitiated, like sometimes people don't understand that there can be justified violence, and that is a form of protest sometimes. It's cool that they're talking about that message.
Or hey, it's just that violence is like neutral and not necessarily bad or good, and it's
Well,
a
yeah,
tool.
it's always it's like it's always being inflicted on the poor and the underprivileged already. So I mean, the violence is already happening. Is
every
really
single day.
the long and short of it. So yeah. But definitely look into that kind of stuff though. What's a good book for learning about that kind of thing?
Somebody just asks
audience
about anarchist stuff on Facebook the other day. They just coming from the they're coming from the ISO, this organization we always used to be in, and they just decided they're an anarchist. But anyways, Peter Gelderloos, that's Gelderloos, has a book called How Nonviolence Helps the State. And I think that's a really pivotal work on the subject. That's definitely a good thing to look into, and not necessarily strictly anarchist. It could work with any sort of political tendency, but definitely has those sort of strains in it. He's an anarchist, like theoretician, person that writes a lot of good stuff on the subjects.
Yeah, it's definitely an important subject to read up on, and read the history about as
and
well.
Listen to the punk songs about.
And
I'll do this band. I'm checking them out.
Yeah. Listen to the Crumb Bums, guys. I'm definitely gonna check out the rest of this album as the tide turns. It seems like they're pretty upfront with their political message, and just fucking brutal sounding. So yeah. We're loving the Crumb Bums over here on the island. But we're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll get back with the last 6 tracks for you guys. And we will be right back on the island with our punk playlist part 2.
Hey.
Thumbs up.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to the island. We are on the second half of our location-based punk playlist listening party. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. I am your host, Brad LeBaron, and I am here with Nathan Manny over there producing everything. I don't know if we said it yet this episode, but he produces everything that we do on his end of things, and he puts it out to the stream world. So we appreciate it very much. And we also have our guest, Little Guillotine.
Hey.
Yeah. Welcome back from the break. We got six tracks left. Feel like we've been getting really been getting some into what these songs are about. It's been a good conceptual episode so far. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
explore those lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's some cool stuff in here.
Yeah.
Um
And the context and the year, the geographical context, etc.
yeah, like
Yeah.
we do like sometimes we do find that like there are some really interesting stories we find out from the really very specific locations. Sometimes it's like, okay, we Google it and like one important thing has happened in this city or town, and it's like, oh, they're probably talking about that thing.
Yeah.
um
What was that? What was that Minnesota town again? Jordan?
oh yeah, Jordan,
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that's a great
I
example.
always remember
Yeah.
it for that.
Yeah, now
Unfortunately.
unfortunately, yeah, now we
For them.
know something horrible happened there at one point.
Oh,
But
absolutely. Horrible.
yeah. Hopefully, that's not a problem in Jordan anymore. But yeah, it's happened a long time ago. I would hope that there's no connection to that in the present.
What's with the rise of incest porn though, y'all? Like,
That's-
speaking of that, like that's I never thought that shit would be like a thing. And wow, and
I know. It's I don't really know about that, honestly. I'm not sure where that comes from.
Yeah.
I think that maybe just I don't know. Already there's so many scenarios that have been used up. Maybe it was just one of the ones they hadn't got to yet. So like, I guess we're doing this part now. I don't know.
And like it's always step this and that. So
By the
I
way-
guess whatever.
By the way, one thing I talk about
Yeah,
sometimes,
they add
they
the
don't
step
really-
in there.
they don't really need to create any more porn, right? Like there's enough porn that you will never need a new one to watch if you tried to watch all of it in existence.
Right.
So
I mean, there's
it
probably
doesn't
some
need to be as
feminist
big of an
punk
industry.
people out there making porn to try to counteract the amount of like
Horrible
misogyny in some
situations
other
happening.
kinds of porn. Yeah.
Yeah,
And maybe
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not done
that.
yet. They can keep making it, but all the other kinds probably can stop at this point.
Yes. Yeah. There's some companies that could probably just stop doing it forever, and we'd all be better for it.
For sure. And then YouPorn's like a social media site where folks are gonna if they put out content consistently, they're gonna be able to grow their fan base and make more money and shit.
Yeah.
So that's part of the
Yeah.
the
No, I
never
mean,
stopping.
there is definitely a different kind of sex economy thing that's happening that's slightly different from the more exploitative porn industry model.
Well,
Californication,
less
if you will.
capitalist, but then then you got YouPorn has all this information like Facebook does. So
Yeah.
those are huge capitalists that are benefiting. And
Uh-huh.
of course so it's just like the social media, how like the information and you become the product or whatever. But I mean,
Yeah.
folks are less exploited in terms of like by capitalist exploitation. But then some would I guess there's other forms of like exploitation still happening, obviously.
Yeah. It's something that I think that we've gotten a little better about thinking about it and talking about it from when I was like in high school. People are actually considering the ethics of it instead of just like slut shaming. Well, there's still plenty of people that are still doing that, obviously. Women have to be careful on the internet for a reason. But I mean, you got people like Mia Khalifa that are, speaking out. That is, a former porn star that is, using her platform to speak out about certain things,
For sure.
and being given the, the opportunity to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we got so into this topic in particular, but we're gonna
Yeah,
get back
my
into
bad.
no, it's
This is
cool.
a porn
It's
podcast now.
fascinating. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's a fascinating world we live in
Yeah.
now compared to when we were younger, at least.
For sure.
I mean, sure, our younger listeners are like, oh, you guys don't even know. But yeah, we're gonna move on to another track. This is by the band Fear, and the song is New York's All Right if you like saxophones. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I remember this one now.
All right.
This one's dope.
All right. Yeah. I don't remember if are there actually saxophones on it.
I don't want to spoil it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Isn't that like the alto or something sax too? It's not like the regular.
I don't know.
No, I think it is a regular one. I don't know what I'm talking about. Regular.
This fucking song. What?
Okay.
What?
Well,
The way he said that was so, like, it's so weird. I don't know.
so the question came to my mind as soon as I heard the title: is this a diss on saxophones or is it pro saxophones? And then when he said
That's
the
a good
homosexuals line, it gave me a better idea.
I think this is a dig on. I think this is a dig on New York and on saxophones. I think he's
homophobic
kind
as
of-
well.
yeah, he's maybe a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit homophobic, maybe even racist.
Yeah.
Although
Yeah.
maybe he's making fun of. I can't tell if he's making because the band is called Fear.
It says tuberculosis as well,
Yeah.
which is
New York's all right if you want to be pushing the subway.
a lot of times like tuberculosis is a class, like related to class and like work. So if you're like organizing against tuberculosis, it's sort of like a working class position to take.
Huh. What is their position on this?
And there's obviously saxophone, and whoever's playing it knows how to do it very well, and it's like knows saxophone beyond like the basics. As little, that
Okay.
sounded really ska at the end, and
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the double drums.
Yeah.
sort
Very
of-
ska.
yeah.
Very ska. And this is 1982,
So
I guess, that this came out. So this
I don't know.
is-
I kind of thought that he was like being pro homosexual and pro saxophone and pro ska when he's like, that's what I thought when he said, if you like homosexuals, like I think he was like being pro, like anti homophobic, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it didn't sound like like he was saying it with malice necessarily, but
What was the lyric that made you think of racism? I missed it. Maybe
I mean, sometimes jazz.
I was more
sometimes.
so thinking about the jazz thing, the art and jazz, and if I can't tell what the intent of the song is,
yeah.
whether he's like, but it's like New York's all right if you want to be pushed in front of the subway. And then apparently they
So-
baited people though. They were
okay.
they were
I'm reading this
a little
story here.
trolly.
So
I'm getting that.
so this is one of the songs that Fear unfamously performed in their 1981 Saturday Night Live.
Oh wow, that was on
appearance.
SNL.
This was on SNL.
Jeez.
They were invited by John Belushi to perform on Halloween night, but didn't go quite as planned. After playing their tongue-in-cheek, misogynistic number "Beef Bologna,"
Okay.
oh my god, and saying it's great to be here in New Jersey, the LA band played "New York's All Right," only to further annoy the New York crowd. While doing it, they
Okay.
continuously claimed, "We're here to make friends." After that, they started, "Let's have a war," but it was cut by NBC as the punks in the crowd started moshing and thrashing the stage.
Aha. So it's some of that early '80s, unironically, unapologetically homophobic bullshit. Is
Yeah,
what it was.
right,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think you're right. Yeah. These guys sound like they're homophobes.
Bad people.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't like saxophones either.
But
So
they do, but they have it in their
yeah, I was gonna say
song.
they have
though.
some. Is that supposed to be bad saxophone? Is that supposed to be like,
It's
you
definitely
know,
jazz saxophone.
are you supposed to sympathize with the saxophone or not? That's what I want to know. But yeah. So yeah, fuck these guys if they are
Yeah.
indeed, as we have.
I mean, it
concluded
almost
them
seems
to
like
be.
they're maybe like, oh, we're doing it ironically, but like if you're not actually ever serious towards people, then they will just think that that's what you're trying to get them to do.
Yeah,
I
as
don't
we've
know.
learned very well in like the meme age that we live in, sometimes if all that your life is memes about edgy stuff, eventually you kind of become that. Like it's eventually the jokes stop being jokes, and you start to resent people for not accepting your edgy jokes, and then get division and all this. It's a problem right now. It's definitely a problem right now.
4chan fascism.
Yeah, that's exactly the one. Yeah. It's a weird rabbit hole to that point, but yeah, it exists.
Yeah.
So
And it's cool to kind of see it throughout history, right? We're talking about the early 80s.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe zines were like
Yeah.
the memeiest type of
Well,
thing
I think that
at the time.
I almost do think that like there's always going to be like a portion of like your toxic dudes in their 20s
Mhm.
that are going to do this every generation.
Okay.
you
Yeah.
know especially if they come from a society that encourages such views in any way.
Yeah.
And hopefully that can stop being as big of a thing. But yeah, I think that there's a real problem with a lot of men that identify with toxic ideologies in their 20s, and it becomes like their entire identity, and they can carry that on the rest of their life if they're not careful. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. Don't fall into toxic masculinity. It's a spiral of horror. We're gonna listen to another track though. This next one is by the band Demix, and it's another New York song. So here's New York City.
Hey.
So yeah, let's see if they have a different view.
I didn't get to these songs at all, so I'm hearing these for the first time.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot of these. We heard like the first couple seconds or whatever, and then we stopped.
Okay.
So
this reminds me of Rat in a Cage by what's that band?
Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I thought of.
Yeah. Not to dwell too much on the last song, but I just like looking at things about their singer leaving and how apparently he was, I don't know, maybe a Republican in his later life. He was like, he's 71 right now.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
Yeah. There's a portion of punks that like decide that somehow joining the system is the more punk rock thing to do. I don't know why. But
look what their punk rock was in the first place. So
well, yeah, I guess if it was all a farce in the first place for them,
Sounds like a country singer almost there when he said New York City.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, here we go. Found some lyrics.
I like this chord progression that keeps repeating.
Yeah.
It's really catchy.
This is like the Minutemen, right? Am I thinking of the right?
I don't know that one.
It's definitely a different kind of punk than a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like
Like how are y'all defining punk when you ask for tracks anyways? Just whatever people interpret that to mean?
we mostly just said punk,
Yeah.
but like when we got submitted stuff that was like too pop punky, we didn't choose those.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do pop punk. We're gonna do like ska. We're gonna do Irish punk in different episodes.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah. I think we're just starting with the broadest terms.
So what would y'all call this?
This
poppy?
this is punk that has like some folk roots.
Yeah,
like
okay.
folk punk maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's not like your traditional, like fast-paced kind of whatever. But yeah,
That made me want to go see a live band for some reason. I don't know.
yeah. It's got that live feel. Like
Yeah.
it definitely like it's kind of, it feels a little lo-fi, you know.
For sure.
What year? Do you know what year that is, Nate? I don't have that on any of my lists.
Which is something I still haven't done post pandemic, is see a live band. Have y'all seen any live shows or live bands?
Not yet.
I've only seen one.
Okay.
I
neither.
saw fucking Riff Raff.
No shit.
I saw Riff Raff.
Yo, MTV Riff Raff.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna go with my roommate that just moved out. It was gonna be, you know, a last kind of thing, but he ended up not buying a ticket, and it was in Minneapolis. My friend Cruz bought a ticket.
Oh,
who lives
cool.
there, so I was like, all right, I guess we're gonna go see Riff Raff.
Right on.
And yeah, he took way too long to come out.
Okay,
and, like
yeah.
even the people on stage were like clearly getting like upset about it.
Yeah.
And so like I watched like a few songs of his, and then I was like, oh, we're gonna get out of here.
Okay. Definitely got some cool style, interesting styles.
Yeah. No, I
and
mean,
stuff.
I do enjoy some Riff Raff for sure, but like, yeah, it was just a weird vibe. There was a dude there that was getting really touchy feely with everyone,
Oh, okay.
including myself.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, I don't want to stick
Ecstasy
around here.
is quite a drug.
It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
Ecstasy's a hell of a drug.
I think he
Rick
thought I
James
was with
said.
Riff Raff at first
Oh,
because
for
we
real?
were sitting like near the merch area.
Okay.
So he's like, hey, where do I get my VIP t-shirt? I'm like, I don't know, dude. I have no idea. Like,
I'm just a dude here.
I'm just here.
So have y'all been to New York City, by the way?
I have not actually.
I have not.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. I like that place and stuff. I did a show there a couple years ago now in the Bronx, and I met my friend in Bed-Stuy, and then there was these cats over on Long Island, or I mean not Staten Island, excuse me. Stayed in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I just want to go back though. Had a lot of fun.
Man, I have like
whatever.
an irrational fear, I think, of New York.
Okay.
Like I don't really talk about this, but while we're on the subject, like it feels in my head, it just feels so like cramped and crowded, and I'm not usually claustrophobic, but I don't know, like I don't know, the fact that there's just buildings upon buildings upon buildings is just something I don't know, it doesn't click right in my brain.
Yeah, shit's wild.
But I think if I saw it, it'd be fine. You know, I don't think my brain would melt if I went to New York, but there's part of me that thinks it'd be scary just
quite a few buildings,
you know. Yeah.
Buildings like a motherfucker.
But I definitely want to do it at some point. You know, I mean, you gotta, you know, see that once in your life, right?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's all go to New York, guys.
I'd like to move there, honestly, or like
just somewhere. Any particular section in New York you want to?
Oh, I don't know. I guess I've barely been there enough. Yeah, and I don't want to call myself out as a colonizer or whatever.
Yeah, before even going there.
Because if you say Brooklyn and you're a white hetero cis dude, it's like kind of colonizer, even though, you know, it's not necessarily like that. Because if you get involved in community and you get involved in resistance against oppression alongside of oppressed folks, it's not the same shit. And if you fight against gentrification, but anyways, I wouldn't say
definitely,
and Manhattan's fun too, but then like I was wearing a keffiyeh on the Upper West Side, which is like a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, and I was getting a lot of fucking nasty looks, and people just treated me like crap for showing my sign of Palestinian resistance. And that's not to be
Yeah.
anti-Jewish. That's just like
Yeah,
there's a lot of
yeah.
support for Israel and that part of the Manhattan and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's why. Yeah, so I like the song because I want to go to New York City too.
Yeah, this one is this one's like way more representative of the city than like the last track. It's yeah, like what was it? It's no good to shout. I'm getting fucking pissed off. I'm tired of going downtown the same trip every day. Wait, no, never mind. These are negative things that I'm reading.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Is he? Wait, is he?
I gotta move right now.
He might be being a little ironic.
Because I'm going insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he might be.
Yeah, I think maybe he wants to get out of New York City.
Yeah, where are they from? Are they from New York?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I would think they're probably from New York.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess the chorus is kind of just they're ironically saying they want to go to New York City. Then
they're from London, Ontario. So basically Toronto area.
Okay,
in a way.
okay.
I mean, it's not exactly Toronto area, but it's close.
Yeah.
So I think they might. Yeah, maybe they are. And
Yeah,
maybe they're not.
Yeah. So wait, maybe their downtown is Ontario, or
like Toronto. I
Toronto
mean,
downtown?
London's not a small city in Canada. Of course, Toronto is not too far away from there.
Huh. I don't know. Now. I don't know.
Yeah.
With the context, it changes it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe they do want to go to New York City. Maybe they're literally excited about doing that. Yeah. Maybe it's Ontario. That's the place where he's getting fucking pissed off and tired going downtown on the same trip every day. It's kind of bringing him down. But yeah. Who knows? We'll have to ask him sometime. But you guys want to get on to another track? We have this one I'm interested in. It's by the Adolescents on their self-titled album, and I like the title of it. It's "Kids of the Black Hole." So, yeah. So someone asked me if this could be included. I'm like, well, a black hole's a place, kind of.
Hey. Oh, singer Keith Whitaker never really wanted to go to New York City.
Okay.
It's a rib.
It's a rib.
New London punks.
He hates New York. All these punks hate New York.
And their Lou Reed fixation. Yeah.
We did Lou Reed's New York, actually, on Side B.
Okay.
That was an interesting album.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's what I was hoping was going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. That like just broke right open.
The drop.
Oh.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, I get it now.
See, this kind of presentation of the lyrics is bringing our attention to an issue, whereas the Fear song was like just straight up saying shit like we hate, basically like, and I read a
Yeah.
little bit about them, and they were like trying to claim that they were like, oh, we were trying to bring awareness, and it's like, you don't bring awareness by being like, I feel like I'm a homophobe. I feel like I don't like those people. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't list them with a bunch of things you don't like.
Awareness of saxophones.
Yeah.
Too, I guess.
Awareness of saxophones too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was pre Kenny G, right? So
Pre what?
I think that was pre Kenny G.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
they don't even know what they're in for.
Oh yeah. So he says lurkers where the lurkers roamed, and I guess he's saying like lurkers means something good in this time, like people who are like
Yeah, I think
the
so.
dredges of society and whatnot. I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's saying that in an esteemed way. Well, he talks about violence and noise.
That had to end for good, but still not understood by the girls and boys.
Yeah, carefree. Okay, yeah. It's like a rebellious house of a fucking party house. Reminds me of a few places
Yeah.
I used to live in and visit a lot.
Yep. Disaster House in Rockford.
Yeah, you been there? You used to hang out there?
I didn't. I
Okay.
just knew a lot of people that did, and
Yeah.
part of the reason that I didn't. Too many sketchy things happened to too many of my friends.
Oh, that sucks. They aren't really talking about that in this song, though.
No, I know.
They say when the girls were horny, who would be the lucky ones? But they're talking about it like in a sexual liberation type of way, I think, where it's like the girls didn't give a shit about the society's mores and norms, and they were doing what they thought were liberating or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like, anyways.
Yeah, no.
this kind of punk is straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first song on
Whereas-
this album is
yeah.
I Hate Children.
Oh, shit. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Jesus.
I'd love
yeah,
to hear
that's
that
crazy.
from a
Yeah.
punk perspective.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's very wholesome.
He's probably like based on this, he's referring to themselves as kids. He's probably talking about society and like parents in that one, and seeing themselves as kids. I bet you. I'm just guessing from the lyrics in this song. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. I think it's about those things as well, but it's also, according to the Genius Notes, this was also the name of a this is what they would call his Mike Ness's front man. He's the front man of Social Distortion. He would play shows at his like single bedroom apartment and let like punks squat there, and it became known as the Black Hole.
Hell yeah.
So I think it is exactly the kind of house you're talking about. I think
Yeah.
that they're literally like describing their times. Especially this part here, they're just kind of listing things that they've done. The nights of birthdays, the nights of fry, the nights of endless drinking, the nights of violence, the nights of noise, the nights that had to end for good, still not understood by the girls and boys.
That's what's
So
up.
yeah, it's like really like it's almost like a coming of age song for
Hell
punks.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go live at this one party house on the far west side here in Madison.
Yeah.
We had these fucking raging parties. We had like 1,000 people in this like 3-bedroom house. It was a
Damn.
house. It was a small one though. At one time we had a rock and roll band that was playing in the basement,
Yeah.
and then we had like a EDM DJ playing on the first floor.
Yeah.
And then we had like rap show later, and then like some
Yeah.
freestyle that was happening. But shit got wild, man. Shit got really wild. It was like this, biracial. There was like multiracial spot. Like there was all
Yeah.
types of folks. It wasn't like a majority white or black folks or whatever. And it was cool like that. Like I
Yeah,
said, rock
yeah.
and roll, EDM, hip hop.
Yeah.
At one point, like this dog got stabbed, right?
What?
And almost died. I guess the dog was all right. And then the cops came. And then my
Oh, holy
roommate
shit.
ended up, who was like this racist at the time, this fucking horrible racist roommate, ended up calling this black person N-word, and
fuck.
and got his ass whooped over it, which
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I mean, he deserves it. But
Yeah.
it got it went a little far, and maybe he would have, if I didn't step in, he would have not been alive anymore. And yeah, motherfuckers stole my money, right? So not my money, but like we were holding a party and there was literally 1,000 people there charging $5 a head.
Yeah.
And they gave me like $40 from the cover. And I'm like, well, okay, you guys are stealing shit, the money from me. And so, whatever, we're just not going to do it again. And then they were like, oh, let's do it again. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that again. The dog got stabbed. My roommate almost is a racist asshole and almost got himself killed. Y'all stole thousands of dollars from me. And then this dude, who's another person that's dead from heroin now, Mikey Kunjert, he wanted to stab me, and he came after me with a knife because I wouldn't let him have another party in my house.
Jesus.
And my other friends had to step in and make sure he
Man.
didn't stab me. So those are some really interesting memories about a party house that this makes me think of. Shit was crazy, but it was fun. It was really fun, and we had a lot of parties before it like got bad. Well, they were stealing from me the whole time, but
I thought I had some bad roommates, but that's no good. Glad you've moved on from that roommate situation.
Yeah,
they don't sound like friends.
No, and I wish he wouldn't have died. That guy from heroin. Even though he tried to kill me.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's just a horrible way to go, and it's just it's really it's very really really all consuming. You know what I mean? It really takes over. So,
but yeah, this song.
This song
evokes some memories.
This song is this is more about like I mean, I think that they could be alluding to like some of that kind of stuff, but I think for the most part, this is like. I don't know. This doesn't strike me as all that dangerous. It doesn't feel that dangerous.
Right.
Yeah. But hey, who knows what they got up to? They're more vague in this one.
True that.
But yeah. I mean, it's homeless kids need a place to go to. Like they need a place to hang out. It's not just with homeless adults or whatever.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, great track. I really enjoyed that track. You guys want to get on to the next one? Oh, we got the Ataris.
Okay. The Ataris.
Yeah, the Ataris Anderson from Anywhere But Here.
All right.
Now this one's definitely pop punk, but it was punk enough we included it.
Oh yeah, that sounds like some.
We were planning to eventually potentially do like a pop punk playlist because it's like its own separate category. Like, not that it's not in the punk continuum, it's kind of got its own vein.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bands in that vein.
Yeah,
for sure.
This is more the like subject matter of pop punk too, because it's like about like not wanting to live in a suburban place anymore.
Is this Indiana? In Anderson, Indiana, or I don't know.
I don't know. Let's see.
Some suburb somewhere. Oh, a reference to Kmart there, which is no longer around. Suburban angst and shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we want to include that track because we want to kind of show where kind of we saw the line between like punk or pop punk
Uh-huh.
and like pop punk that's more pop than punk. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So this one we felt had enough punk elements that it like qualifies. It's got that kind of early Green Day sound,
It
which
totally
like
does. Yeah.
counts for punk, in
Yeah.
our book, but just barely. It's like at the brink of like being something else, once it
Yeah.
gets to like late Blink 182,
Okay.
So yeah. This track was kind of like where kind of our line was genre wise. So if your track didn't make it into the list, uh, because it's a pop punk thing, that's probably why. But we will do a pop punk playlist as
Yeah.
well.
Keep submitting them songs, I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah.
right? Okay.
Well, like we kind of like throw the net out to different random subreddits, so it's never like the same subreddit
Okay.
because yeah, each genre, each whatever has their own place. And yeah, so far prog rock and punk have been very receptive of the
Okay.
of the questions. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens when we get to the pop punk subreddit or the Irish punk subreddit. We're gonna, you know what? I have a feeling for the Irish punk subreddit, we're gonna get a lot of suggestions. I don't know. I have a feeling though, there's gonna be a lot of people
They're all gonna be
just
Dropkick Murphys.
cheering to talk
Yeah.
about some Irish punk. Anyone that will listen. Um, but yeah, that's a 1997 song. Yeah, very, very more or very much more poppy than the rest of the stuff we've heard, and kind of a suburban wasteland kind of
For
track.
sure.
Just lamenting about the normalcy of your life and wanting to get away, which is I think a little bit of a privileged view. I think that comes from pop punk. I think that's something that I have a problem with when it comes to pop punk. Looking back at it, is it's like
Yeah.
it's all about getting away from your setting wherever it is, but without like I don't know, without any the exploration into what that means or like, where they're gonna go or what their future is or past is in that town besides just the mundaneness of their town, it's just it's always a pretty like bland story in pop punk, I think, when they describe these things. I mean, sorry if you're a pop punk fan out there, but like I just there's a certain point where they all kind of there's a lot of the same stuff being rehashed, and I don't know, it got old for me, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, it was. So it's like it's got a critique of capitalism and its infinite propensity to reproduce
Hmm.
things.
Yeah,
In the same way, it's to such it's like a drag on life.
yeah,
But it doesn't have a critique of capitalism coming from somebody who's been like heavily oppressed in society and like sort of understands oppression, at least from the workers, a working
yeah,
perspective, or
yeah,
like a what is it called, like the freaking lumpen proletariat, like somebody from the streets or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Because yeah, you hate suburbia and you hate capitalism because of that, but like have you ever like had to eat out of a trash can or whatever, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like not
yeah.
really.
Like the last track, where they're talking about like
Yeah,
homeless kids like
yeah,
finding refuge together and shit.
exactly. Yep, yep.
So yeah,
Yeah,
this is like the punk without. I think that's why some people really have a hard time with pop punk, because it's punk without the bite kind of to it.
for sure, but definitely rebelling against the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
system that causes all this BS. In
yeah.
both
Just a
cases.
different element of that system. And yeah, suburbia is the target in most of the stories, and you know,
Yeah, that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
There's this one YouTube channel that I totally can't think of, but they had this series or it's a series really about the evolution of punk rock. And
Okay.
so like obviously this is when Green Day was like maybe just taken off or whatever.
Yeah.
And like there was pop punk bands like Rancid and shit,
Yeah.
and they were
yeah.
making like millions and millions of dollars, and just like,
Yeah.
and so like
Money
there was this
Yeah.
yeah, so like bunch of people tried to just reproduce the same sound, and a lot of people had a good success, you know, doing that, even being like, you know, underground, not as famous, still making a lot of money just reproducing that same
Simple
sound.
Plan.
And then he also talks about on the channel, I should look it up, maybe I'll drop a link, I'll hit y'all up with it.
Yeah.
But he talks about how like punk kind of like its popularity has really waned since the early 2000s, late 90s, and that how a lot of it, the genre has like crossed into like emo rap. And so like a lot of folks that would you know, normally be like punk fans of pop punk have like gone into emo rap now. And so like
I think that in general, like, you know, rap and hip hop has like replaced rock in our culture,
yeah,
you
for
know, as
sure.
far as, you know, young people goes.
Yep.
Like they're not, I mean, there's still people that like it, but I mean, it's definitely not like when I was a kid. Like, you know, if you're in high school and you want to make cutting edge music, you're going to probably go more for some kind of rap or hip hop these days.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so
and same kind of sentiments of I'm like depressed, very prevalent in kind of like emo, trap and stuff that's out, dominating the airwaves nowadays.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a, you know, as you know, time goes and like, you know, culture shifts and stuff, like different stuff represents the you know, the rebellious kind of spirit.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, we got a couple more tracks for you guys though. We for the next track, we have the Modern Lovers with their self-titled album Modern Lovers.
Oh.
And here is the song Roadrunner.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roadrunner.
Very early punk. Bam, bam.
It's like a guy that's like drunk and just like, yeah, man, I'm like a fucking road runner, man. I love Massachusetts. Huh.
This is a little bit more, like a little bit more off the beaten path of what I'd expect from punk with that little organ, whatever that was there. That's crazy.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out what that was. It was some kind of modified organ, something, right?
Yeah. It's almost like the Doors, but
It's
not
like
as pronounced.
Like an organ flute.
Maybe. It does kind of sound like a flute.
Okay, now you say bottom lovers. I got the AM, got the car, got the AM, got the AM sound, got the rock and bottom neon sound. I got the car from Massachusetts, I got the power of Massachusetts when it's late at night. I got the modern sounds of modern Massachusetts. I got the world and got the turnpike. I got the power of the AM, got the lady line, lit white, and rock and roll, lady line, the factories in the other side. I got the power of the Boston sound. All right.
But
I
right
feel like-
there, that's like a regular. There's the organ. That's just like a church organ right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
two
ska.
different ones, I think.
Yes, I think so too. Yep.
Yeah.
That was like the reggae, fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know what you call it, the ska type of thing going on there.
Yeah, that
but
was
it didn't
kinda
sound
ska.
like a ska song beyond
No.
beyond that organ riff.
No.
Yeah.
So that came out in 76.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was
yeah.
like probably some real Jamaican influence shit, like the fucking. I forget the. Never mind.
Well, this is from A&M Records. So, I mean, they had a lot of, I think, international stuff, I believe, because they did Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass, I think is A&M.
Dude, you find those fucking LPs anywhere you go digging for
Dude, yeah.
album vinyl,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
see that's like
I
everywhere.
think
no
I
matter
have
where you
almost
go.
the whole collection now. I have, I've been collecting them. And then after I collected a bunch of them, I found actually I have like a multiple record collection in like a set. So
Okay.
I have so much Tijuana Brass. But yeah, A&M Records, though, fantastic label. A lot of good stuff they put out for a long time.
Are they still in business or?
Don't think so.
Alright.
I don't think I've seen anything like released with an A&M on the label. Like everything that I've seen with A&M on the label is already very old. So I'm assuming it's defunct. And I'm not gonna look it up. You guys can look it up.
Look it up.
You
Let
guys
us know
out there.
in the comment section. Right?
Wow, that looks weird. I'm
It's
like,
wicked
I
perspective.
don't like looking at the.
Yeah, either during the live stream or after in the comment section. Yeah, if you're watching this afterward.
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. I like that song
that
a
was a good
lot. It
song.
made me want to dance.
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah.
And and it
was-
was like some 50s like rock
Yeah.
and roll sound and
Such a surprise for that year.
yeah, for sure.
It was
70s.
not at all what you expect from 76. It's and he's talking about how he's he's in love with Massachusetts. Like he's just running. What was it? You got the radio on. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out what he's saying. I don't feel so bad now in the car. Don't feel so.
It reminds me
alone.
of the
Got
Clash.
radio
The
on.
Clash was like making Jamaican inspired punk-ish music in that era.
Okay.
Well,
yeah, I think the Ramones or Sex Pistols cover this song at some
Mm.
point too. So I'm
Mm.
assuming there's a very even more like proto-punky sounding song version of this.
right on.
But yeah, that was let's see, we got the organ. Yeah, definitely an organ here with
Is it
Jerry Harrison.
just one? Looks
And
like a,
I'm looking. Maybe the other thing was on the keyboard.
yeah,
they're
probably.
keyboards, so-
Yep. So there's two keyboards
Yeah.
and one organ in that song. So I think we were
so
spot on. when
One
we
of the
thought they were
keyboards
different.
must have been like a whistle kind of organ sound.
Yeah,
That was I
no
like that.
doubt.
Yeah.
I used to be heavy into the specials, just
Okay.
that fucking and like the toasters and faking Jamaican was a song. Anyway, so
Was
yeah,
that a
just
lot?
some
Did they use a lot of keys in those?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I like that. Like, I like the exploration of like synth and keyboards in the 70s
Hell yeah.
before like it kind of became standardized in the 80s almost. Like, I don't know. I feel like by the 80s, it was like, most of the great stuff had already been done with the synth, and they were just kind of like, you know what? Let's just make everything synth. But yeah, I love because like in the 60s they use it sparingly, they use it to accentuate stuff. It's not like the feature you know. Yeah,
Yeah, true that.
yeah.
There's that new series about pop music on Netflix. Have y'all checked that out yet?
Oh, I'm supposed to watch that for the podcast actually.
Okay.
But I hear
Not
that's really
yet.
good.
Yeah, there's the cool episode about the fucking auto tune, and like
Oh yeah.
and T-Pain is like the star, but then they also go into like the Vodafone or the Vodafone or the
Yeah.
Vodacone or something like that. It was like this straw motherfuckers would put in their mouth and sing into in like the late 70s, early 80s. And then like this really early synth like woman who was on David Letterman, and like crazy shit she was doing with synth. So yeah, that's kind of like
Are you talking about the vocoder?
the vocoder is the singing
and
thing.
Yeah, and then some people called it a talk box where they would attach it to their guitar. Peter Frampton did that all the time.
That's
Frampton
the
Alive.
Frampton sound.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that stuff is like has a lot of weird application and sounds you can create from it.
And I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't not mention Zap too, like Computer Love and all the electronic synth shit that was going on in that with the vocoder.
Yeah.
Computer Love.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
punk.
Yeah, but I'm sure that like it's something that's been used like quite a bit. Like it's an important tool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, really great track though. The Modern Lovers, if you want to really check it.
And it's not modern at all, right? It's from the 80s. Okay,
no,
or
from
the
76.
76.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
check them out. I like.
yeah. I'd love to get this LP sometime and just spin it. I'm sure it's great. I could probably. You might be able to find this at your local record shop. Who knows? It's old enough, and it's not a household name. But yeah, Roadrunner. Road is the location in this one, and he also talks about Massachusetts. So
That's right.
it's just barely made the list.
That's right.
But we got one more track for you guys, and then we are going to do our plugs and get out of here. We have this last song is by the Restarts, and it is called Uganda Calling.
We take all kind of pills and give us all kind of thrills, but the thrills getting out I know. It's a thrill that'll get you if you get your picture on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Gonna see my picture on the cover. Gonna buy 5 copies for my mother. Gonna see my smiley face on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
That's pretty funny.
Yes. Yeah.
I like what it makes the Daily Mail read like the Guardian. It's Rolling Stone apparently is a Ugandan tabloid
Oh,
that
really?
he's talking about. Apparently,
Oh.
yeah, that's what it is in lyrics.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're doing some upstrokes.
Yep.
This kind of ska too.
Yep. But also fucking like really, really hardcore. I mean,
Yeah.
hardcore ska, I guess.
Yeah.
This is a very concise telling of what happened to make Uganda to basically U.S. evangelicals pushed these extremist anti-gay politicians there.
It's like 2012 or something.
This is
Is this-
very educational.
This is before that, I think, but
Okay.
I think I'm not sure though. Let me.
I remember around that era there was some really bad legislation being proposed there.
So Rolling Stone is a tabloid newspaper published in Kampala, Uganda. Oh wait, maybe you're right. It's probably around that time. Yeah, they started reporting on it around 2010.
Okay, yeah. That's when I remember a lot of bad legislation happening.
Yeah, this Rolling Stone paper apparently published pictures and it said that they were like leaking homosexuals, their names and their photographs,
Right.
alongside a yellow banner that read "Hang them." Jeez.
That's fucked up. I remember legislation was like you get life in prison if you're found out to be gay, and then they were proposing execution too. Was some things being proposed there?
That's fucked.
David Kato was the person who was murdered. Sexual minorities Uganda leader David Kato, one of the activists out in the article and co-plaintiff in the lawsuit, was murdered in his home by an intruder who struck him twice on the head with a hammer. Jesus Christ.
God, fuck.
Yeah, probably because of the Rolling Stone call out. It's like when Trump, says, or fucking, people mention folks. It's like a secretly call to murder, but of course, in the case of this, it was explicitly one.
Yeah. A not so secret call to murder. Yeah.
Kuki tuli bannayuganda naffe lwaki mutusosola tubeere muntu omu kulaakulana ya gavumenti ne bannannyiniyo.
Bakuchu nabo bantu.
That's
So
kind of
this-
cool that at the end there.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, like, where this band from, and like, are they black or are they not, or is this folks? Because Uganda has like a history of like revolution and like decolonization and things like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, is this like an Ugandan band or
No,
it looks like
restarts. It looks like are London.
Yeah.
London, England. I don't have any pictures or information on the members. So we have Dara O'Neill on drums, Kiernan Plunkett from Armed and Hammered on bass guitar, and Mick Useless on the guitar.
But yeah, that's not to say that they shouldn't. I think it's great that they're calling out that shit. But then, like,
definitely. Yeah.
You just got to be careful about like saying like Uganda in general, because there's plenty of people who aren't necessarily homophobic in Uganda. Obviously, like the folks probably at the end there. Then they like just the whole idea of folks from like the West, or if you will, not from Africa, who maybe are white or maybe aren't, and just how it's different. Like calling out like a country for that has a history of decolonization and like struggle themselves from colonizers. But then fuck that homophobic BS that was happening in Uganda. It was really fucked up. I remember, like I said, they were proposing execution if you were found out to be gay, which is like then the state's gonna decide like how who's gay and not or not. They could just say anybody's gay. Like, how do you prove someone's gay? Or is it like maybe it was sodomy specifically? I don't know. But that's all crap. That's crap.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's great song, and definitely still a problem throughout the world, in different places, scattered places, like we've gotten gay marriage or whatever in like the last like decade or so here in the US, which is progress for us, but we're still not where we need to be here, and there's also places that are still having a lot of have different cultures and different things they're bringing to the table in different parts of the world. But yeah, it's a complicated issue depending on where you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And they might be black and Ugandan, and then I'm just like an asshole for trying to even call them out or whatever, but definitely not trying to do that, but just trying to raise awareness to the dynamic.
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Thing where,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To what's the term in the Bible? Shit. Taking a splinter out of someone's eye when you have a plank in your own.
Damn, yeah.
That
All
whole
right.
thing.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, good thing we had this song compared to that the fear song with the homophobic slurs. And
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. We like we said, we don't listen to everything on this side, and like the Lou Reed album, we found out he's pretty loose with some slurs when talking about
Oh
some
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Um,
Right.
but I mean, he's trying to again, kind of like the punk people bring the shock value with those words or whatever. But yeah, yeah, yeah. It's something that we it comes up. There have been different philosophies on. Well, there white guys have been able to get away with saying a lot of crazy stuff on mic for a long time. So we try to bring attention to it.
No
But
doubt.
yeah, yeah, that's pretty great track though. I'm glad we ended on more um, you know just straight up punk, messaging stuff. Like it's anti-establishment, but the establishment's the Ugandan establishment, right?
Yeah.
If I'm reading this correctly. Um,
Yeah, and like this has such good like it's like a thesis. It's like an
yeah, this
article
is
almost. If
yeah,
you read the
exactly.
lyrics, there's like they're talking
Yeah.
about a lot of shit here.
Yeah, you don't really don't need the song itself. If you just read these
Yeah.
lyrics, you'll learn I get what they're discussing, you know. Yeah, so social pariah. Okay, David, even names David Bahati writes the kill the gays bill, social pariahs to imprison and kill, Kadaga's Xmas gifts blessed by the Pope, sending complicit hatred down a slippery slope. So yeah, yeah, it's really, really getting into the nitty gritty in like a few lines. So
Oh, what about the fucking how it began too? Like it was like what were those sounds at the beginning? It was like it was like it
oh
was like
yeah,
some circus
yeah.
shit or something. Like
Oh, that's
the
right. Yeah,
intro.
it's like started out like
Yeah.
almost a different genre,
Yeah, it
and then it
was
like turned into this.
turned into like hardcore slash ska.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking yeah.
You
It's
don't
a
get this a
cool
lot. You don't get
composition.
the hardcore with the ska a lot.
Yeah.
You don't like it's
That's right.
that's what I really like. I think that's why I really like Streetlight Manifesto. They were a ska band from my high school days, and
Okay.
like they were a more like fast paced, like anti-establishment, kind of group, and they didn't fit like the ska of the time, which was kind of bubblegummy, funny, ironic ska or whatever. But yeah, ska is supposed to be serious. It's supposed to be about some serious shit. The original ska it was always about some some anti-establishment, authoritarian stuff.
Like Jamaican Revolution.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that.
Bald heads.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking yeah.
Oh, the skinheads in the UK,
Yeah. Well, no, I'm thinking of
or was bald heads a different thing?
bald heads were different. They were
Okay.
like, yeah, I'm gonna bludgeon it, but I'm thinking of rude boys, bald heads. Yeah, bald heads
Okay.
were like, I don't want to say it's very complicated. I'm getting my shit all mixed up.
No,
Rude
that's all right,
boys were
that's all right.
definitely like revolutionaries, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That fought
Oh,
against
yeah, there's a few terms that
UK colonialists and shit.
think yeah, there's a few terms that people think are just like funny ska terms that have a
Yeah.
serious history.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Rude boy is definitely one of them that has been appropriated, and it's just a funny term now.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a big history with ska. I can't wait till we do a ska themed genre episode.
That's what's up.
But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up. But before we get out of here, we're gonna go around and we're gonna ask everyone what they got to plug. And I guess you could say what you've been listening to if you want. But yeah, I'll go first to demonstrate. I'm just gonna plug the album concept hour side A. We are getting to the end of our second season, and yeah, we're gonna cap it off at the 80 episode mark, and yeah, episode 81 will be season 3. So yeah, go on over and check anchor.fm/album concept hour. And yeah, if you want to get the backlog of these podcast episodes, the free versions available on anchor.fm/album concept hour side B. Or you can go on the Patreon at patreon.com/flyover state park. And yeah, if you join any of the tiers, you get access to all of the side B episodes that we have up so far. So yeah, go to one of those places, support the content if you're enjoying it. And yeah, I'll go on over to Nate, and then we'll end with you, Lil Guillotine. I'm still not used to. I don't know. If I ever really call you Lil Guillotine
Oh
in
yeah.
person. It's usually just Liam. But yeah, Nate, what do you got to plug or listen?
Well,
What do you listen?
I kind of have been not doing a whole lot with my Minecraft channel, but I have some ideas in the works. And
Okay.
Brad and I were talking about a idea of like a Minecraft talk show at one point, and my friend
Yeah,
Noah is
yeah.
actually gonna let me try to set up a Minecraft server on its Raspberry Pi. So I have some ideas for
cool.
what we could do with that, and I think it'd be kind of fun.
Nice.
Other than that, I will be coming out with another video soon, hopefully. Just kind of doing the normal struggle, man. Just trying to get a
Yeah,
job right
yeah.
now, and yeah, don't really have much to plug other than that.
That's cool. That's cool. Then what about you, Little Guillotine? What do you got to plug?
Oh, so I definitely want to plug the Patreon again of Brad's and
Oh, thanks.
and Nathan's. I don't know if it's, but anyways, like the shows and just because
Right now
if
we're
you like the
just
content,
yeah. Right now we're just banking whatever is coming in. So,
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because more better content can happen, and like more stuff can happen, and the episodes can continue to happen because folks definitely take time out of their daily struggles to produce this content for folks. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show.
Yeah.
But I'd like to plug I'm really pushing my Instagram and my YouTube most of all. I'm
Yeah.
Lil Guillotine or Lil Guillotine on YouTube, LILGUILLOTINE. And then on Instagram, I'm Little Guillotine, which is LITL GUILLOTINE.
Okay.
So yeah, check those out. I got a song coming out with Rare MC called In America. Oh, that's the working title. And
Okay.
maybe it'll be called that when it gets released.
Okay.
And so a little homage to 4th of July or rebellion against it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so yeah, that's the good pluggings. But yeah, peep that Patreon though, because
Yeah.
excited to hear that it's going well, and there's 6 folks on there giving, and that that's a start. But definitely like
Heck
to
yeah,
see.
man.
Like to see our content creators getting supported financially, even though
Yeah.
that's the dirty side, but that's important for sure.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's like the not sexy side of it, but like, if you want basically, for the content that you enjoy, you should put a little money into it if you can, because
Could do $1 a month,
otherwise
right?
it could go away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not threatening you guys. I'm just saying, like, like I've seen that happen with some YouTube channels where, like, they'll try it for like 6 months straight. There's some good content, but like eventually they're like, I just can't spend the time doing this.
And Patreon's
You
dope
know?
because like YouTube would take like a big percent out of
Yeah,
and
YouTube's
so,
getting
like,
weird with the ad stuff. But
yeah, they
Yeah.
take huge percent out of
Mhm.
stuff. So this way the content creators get most of the shit.
yeah,
stuff.
and I know Patreon will probably adapt with the times too. I anticipate some kind of bundle system at some point. But yeah, we're we got some things available for the Patreon. So yeah, check out the $1, $3, and $5 tier, and yeah, support your local artists and stuff too. If you're vaccinated and you feel safe, go out to a show for a local music artist. But yeah, that's all we got for today on the island. Thank you so much, Little Guillotine, for being on. We'll definitely have to have you back sometime to talk about some more music.
Hell yeah.
It's always location based on this thing that
Okay.
we're doing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking about some punk with you, and it's been good chatting with you and seeing you. So,
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
yeah. Thanks everyone for joining us on the island, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Peace.
The Elven Concept Tower. The Elven Concept Tower. It's the Elven Concept Tower. Side B.